Welcome back to another edition of Scout Report on Euro Football Daily, where we are looking at which centre-half Liverpool should be chasing this January. Jurgen Klopp has been left fuming after seeing Virgil van Dijk and Joe Gomez both lost to injury so far, with countless other niggles ravaging his back line. As a result, Liverpool could be forced into the market this winter in order to find cover. Our options include three players of differing value, whose names have already featured next to Liverpool's in the gossip columns. So don't be shocked if any of these targets become a red by 2021. The cheap option, David Alaba. It seems crazy to consider David Alaba a cheap alternative, but due to his current situation, that could well be the case. The Austrian left-back turned centre-half is fast approaching the conclusion of his contract with Bayern Munich and has shown no signs of extending his stay. As a result, a move this January could be on the cards for the 28-year-old. And what an addition he would make. Alaba is a serial winner, having claimed 9 Bundesliga titles, 6 DFB Pokals and 2 Champions Leagues since rising through the academy at the Allianz Arena. But that's not all. Alaba has chalked up 400 appearances for Dayot, been named Austrian Footballer of the Year 6 times and featured in the Bundesliga Team of the Season twice. 75 caps at Austria and qualification for the Euros in 2016 mark his international achievements too. But why is Alaba so good? Versatility is often a word associated with the former Hoffenheim loanee, due to his ability to cover almost every position in the defence and midfield. Years spent in advanced roles means to date he has 49 goals for club and country, along with 35 Bundesliga and Champions League assists since 2011. And despite now featuring more permanently as a defender, in the most recent UEFA Nations League fixtures, Alaba still averaged 1.3 shots, 2.8 key passes and 1 dribble per game. Jurgen Klopp loves seeing his defenders play out from the back, so the Vienna-born star's flexible skill set will be particularly enticing. 2019 marked the first period of time when Alaba was given an extended run at centre-half since the days of Pep Guardiola in Munich. Long-term injuries to Niklas Süle and Lucas Hernandez forced the Austrian into the middle of the defence, and he hasn't looked back. Though on the face of it, his 2.1 tackles and interceptions in the 2019-20 season doesn't look that impressive, it should be remembered that Bayern were the dominant force in Europe. Joshua Kimmich and Jerome Boateng only marginally posted higher defensive actions than Alaba, while Bayern only conceded 32 times in the Bundesliga, less than 1 a game. It's his passing range, however, where Alaba shines. Last season the Austrian ranked first for passes into the final third, a stat he is leading again this term, 8th for progressive passing distance and 7th for his pass completion rate, finding a teammate 90.8% of the time. Not only that, no player in the German top flight carried the ball further than his 7,669 yards last season. It all paints the picture of an undisputedly world-class operator. With just 6 months of his contract to run, there is every chance Liverpool could land the Austrian for less than 20 million euros. Considering he is only 28 and in the prime of his career, that is incredible value. But of course there is a catch, in this case his eye-watering salary. Much of Alaba's contract standoff with Bayern Munich is due to his reported €300,000 per week demands, which the Bavarians are hesitant to meet. At Liverpool, this would immediately make him the club's highest paid player, which could cause unrest in the squad. However, considering his wealth of experience, the small initial cost, and their general need for a centre-half, he might just be worth it. The medium option, Perr Schurrs. From one of the most established defenders in world football to a rising talent in the game, one medium price choice is Ajax centre-half Perr Schurrs. The 21-year-old is enjoying his first proper season in the club's senior side, having spent the majority of his career with the second team and at Dutch minnows Fortuna Sittard. But the 6'3" defender plays with a composure that appears beyond his years, and it's hard to believe he only has 21 Ajax appearances to his name. Critics have already hailed him as the next Matthias de Ligt, and for good reason. Similar to Alaba at Bayern Munich, Schuurs plays in the dominant side in the Netherlands, so his statistics don't initially jump out from the page. He completes a respectable 2.9 tackles and interceptions per game, as well as 1.9 clearances per 90. A telling factor to his quality, however, is that his defensive actions all increase in the Champions League, where he has faced some of the most formidable attacks in Europe in Liverpool and Atalanta. On the continent, his blocks quadrupled per match, while his clearances soared to 2.8. This all illuminates his brilliant levels of concentration and helps explain why he was made captain of Fortuna Sittard at just 18 years old. Jurgen Klopp will also be reassured to see Schuurs' ability to rise to the challenge, as the Premier League is about as tough as it gets. Schuurs' measured nature on the pitch is reflected in his passing ability. He boasts excellent range, is regularly on the ball, and in general averages a huge 90.9% pass completion rate. For context, in the Liverpool squad, only Fabinho and Thiago can better that from the regular starters, and the latter is considered one of the best technicians in the game. And for all of his ball possession, Schuurs is only unsuccessful with 0.2 touches per 90, meaning he has only given away the ball twice this season. It should be noted that he is far from the complete package. For all the advantages his height provides, he only wins 1.6 aerial duels at a success rate of 47%, and on average completes more fouls than any starting Liverpool defender. His ability to carry out from the back could also improve. At such an early stage in his career, Ajax won't command anything close to the 85 million euros they received from Juventus for De Ligt. Even so, early reports claim Liverpool would have to cough up at least 30 million euros for a move to be entertained. However, their biggest problem could be convincing Schuurs to leave the Johan Cruyff Arena at all. For all the speculation, he recently revealed he intends to stay for at least 2 more seasons in the Dutch capital, and that's hardly surprising. At the time of writing, only their goalkeeper Andre Onana has received more minutes than him in the league, while Schuurs is yet to win anything of note with the club. Plus, he was recently included in the Netherlands senior side, showing it is doing his career no harm to stick with Ajax for now. However, much like most things, money talks in football, more so now than ever. If Liverpool want him enough, then anything could happen, and the opportunity to play at Anfield will always be difficult to ignore for any player. Least of all, Schuurs. The expensive option, Dayot Upamecano. Finally, we have RB Leipzig sensation Dayot Upamecano. A constant favourite here on Eurofootball Daily, the French defender is desired by almost every powerhouse on the continent, including Liverpool. And his performances this season have done little to dampen the hype around his name. On first glance, the Red Bull Salzburg Academy graduate is actually completing less defensive actions per game in the Bundesliga than he was in 2019-20, falling to 4.4 from a colossal 7. However, that can partly be attributed to an overall change in Leipzig's approach. So far this term, they are averaging more possession of the ball and facing fewer shots than before, with Tyler Adams and Kevin Campbell providing an excellent shield in the midfield. At the time of writing, no German defence has conceded fewer. But when called into action, Upamecano has maintained his exceptional standards. No player in the German top flight has successfully tackled opposing dribblers as much as the young French star, emerging victorious 88.3% of the time. His overall tackle success rate might be down on last season, but his progressive style means he is currently engaging attackers further up the pitch than at any point in his career. This leads directly into his ball carrying abilities, which is another area where Upamecano excels. In 2019-20, he ranked 4th in the Bundesliga for progressive carrying distance, bringing the ball 6,780 yards, having been successful with 81% of his dribbles. Considering he's often having to start from deep, with a number of opponents in his way, it's a remarkable achievement, and one he is on course to replicate this season. The French international's capacity to drive up the pitch is complemented by his excellent eye for a pass. Last term, he managed 163 passes into the final third, the 5th most of any player in the German top flight, and regularly averages a pass accuracy over 90%. As a result of his efforts, Upamecano has often provided the spark to Leipzig's electric attacks. Since 2019, he holds an average expected goal chain per 90 of 0.42, meaning that almost every other goal features an involvement by the Frenchman. He is quite simply the perfect modern era defender, and is still only 22 years old. There are countless other defensive metrics where Upamecano dominates that continue the narrative of just how talented he is. From aerial duel wins to clearances per game, he is a 6'1" force that opponents rarely get the better of. And unsurprisingly, he comes with a price tag to match the hype. There was a lot of talk that Manchester United and Arsenal were ready to bid over €40 million for his services last summer, but Upamecano eventually signed a new deal at Leipzig until 2023 that increased his asking price by 50%. However, his latest contract includes a release clause of €42 million that becomes active at the end of the season. Should it reach this stage, then expect to see an almighty dogfight for his signature. As a result, Liverpool may have to pay above the clause if they want him in January. Leipzig won't be keen to lose their main centre-half mid-season, but the chance to maximise his value shouldn't be ignored. Liverpool fans, however, might not be thrilled to see the arrival of a player who would directly hinder Joe Gomez's development. But with world-class defenders in short supply, Klopp may decide he has little choice but to grab Upamecano while he can. So those were 3 centre-halves of varying value we think Liverpool should consider, but have we missed anyone out, or do you think we're wrong? Let me know in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, then click on screen right now for more Euro Football Daily content, and as always guys, don't forget to like and subscribe.